Alright, it's about time to finally decide who the best card fighters are in all the good seasons of Cardfight Vanguard. So, for you two Overdress fans in the world, your people will not be on this list. Sucks to suck. The way I'm ranking them is based on my own biased opinion, obviously, and other obligatory reasons I'll make up as I go along. So without further ado, let's get cooking. Other than the fact that our names are similar, Taiyo knows how to card fight, and is one of the youngest to ever do it. Every time he went up against one of the strongest in the show, he was able to push them to the limit with the times he faced Shion, Chrono, and he even beat Tokuha in the under 20. The main reason he was able to keep up with the best in the show is research. Taiyo has one of the best strategic minds in the series, coming up with smart ways of getting more attacks and powering his Vanguard to crazy levels. The best example is his third and second fight with Chrono, because Taiyo had him pinned, and the only way Chrono was able to win is he got new cards the day before, so technically plot. Also, he was good enough to be a candidate for Gize, and he is one of Japan's best players under 20. Moving on. Ryuji Myojin was a tough bad guy because he was the mastermind they were trying to catch during the Gears crisis. Only for them to find him, he gives them some of the coldest final words. Although a righteous man may fall 7 times, he will always get back up again. Bars. Then he literally set himself on fire just to transfer his mind into a clone. Then he wrecked Chrono twice, once after he got his new body, and again after he tasered him and they had a Dragon Ball level fight with playing cards. He also beat my GOAT Koji, made his life flash before his eyes, and almost ended his life. Moving on. Shion is definitely one of the coldest card fighters in the show. He had a riches to rags and backstory after losing to Ace. Then he went to go beat up some gangsters and made them his errand boys. He was even able to beat the best card fighter in the show, only once on an off day, but still. The score is 20-1, so it didn't matter, but he can still say he won. He also beat Shoma in the game and with his hands, because during Stridegate, Shoma was trolling him about how his family is broke, how he has to work a paper route like a 10-year-old, how his mom looked sad when her Gucci got repoed. Then as soon as Shoma admitted he was the one who set the plan into motion, Shion jumped into action and whooped him and was ready to put his fist through his face, but Koji pulled him off just in time to save him. In Next in G, he was cooking. He almost beat Chrono in one of the best looking card fights in the series, and Chrono even said he reminded him of Aichi, which is a good compliment. And he did save the world. Moving on. Leon Soryu, the master of the Aqua Force, is him. The way he moves is just different. He was one of 3 characters to use a completely new clan that no one else had, and he used it with aura. He beat the supposed best player in the world, Daigo, who only has 1 win in the series. Not sure how he's the best, but moving on. Then in a tag team battle against Aichi and Kamui, he literally created a tornado out of nowhere just to flex on them. To be honest, that must be nice being able to control the wind, because on a hot day, you just summon some cold air and chill while everyone else is sweating. But card fight wise, he beat a future version of himself who was supposed to know exactly what he was going to do. Whooped Kai, but again, that doesn't count because Kai was using Narukami and not Kagero, so he wasn't at his full strength. And crushed Kote, calling him a fake emperor. Moving on. Kamui is literally the youngest to ever do it. He had a regional and a national tournament win under his belt at the age of 12 against grown men who've been playing the game for years. Personally, I'm not letting that slide. Then in Link Joker, he ran to a school full of reverse zombies, pretty much soloed them because his friends didn't help at all, and beat everyone by himself. He made an NPC clan like a Nova Grappler look good because the only other people who use Nova Grappler are nobodies. Then in G, he grew into a mentor for Tri 3, and his fight with Chrono at the end of Gear Crisis was peak because he decided to aura farm in his Mega Sword and sent a 5-star laser beam to Chrono Jet, which was fire. Moving on. The original bad guy of the series, Ren Suzugimori, is one of the coldest villains in all card game anime. He had Psyqualia, so he had Future Sight. He ran a whole company where he spanked people into getting better at Vanguard, and if they lost, Jesus help them. He talked Aichi into abandoning his favorite card Blaster Blade and Royal Paladin for Blaster Dark and Shadow Paladin. Then he battled Kai in one of the best matches in the show, Kai with his Overlord the End and Ren with his Phantom Blaster Dark. He washed Aichi in the Asia circuit and then again in the high school championships because he got Blaster Dark to stab bro in the back with his big black sword. Pause. Then in Gears Crisis, he almost swept Tri-3 by himself. Moving on. The OG MC, Aichi has some of the best character development in anime. He went from a shy kid who was bullied to an emo into a confident leader that people trust and look up to. Here are just some of his highlights. He saved the world 3 years in a row, saved Cray, then saved it from the void, and then beat the reverse. Won 2 championships in the first 2 years of playing Vanguard. Then in G Next, he came back and showed Chrono who the real MC is, pulling up with some new Royal Paladin cards and a new Blaster Blade. Took Chrono on a trip to Cray and then put BTA on Chrono. Even though Chrono's my favorite, it was fire. Moving on. Koji Ibuki is the only man who controls the Vanguard gods, and he only got them after almost erasing Vanguard completely, which was a crazy thing just to happen. He also set everything in G in motion by somehow sneaking into a middle school in the middle of the day at 20 years old, and somehow no one noticed. He manipulated Chrono into getting stronger so he could stop Ryuzu from activating the infinite Tsukuyomi. Also, he never ducked smoke. He ran down on Ryuzu to try to stop him before things got too far. He failed and almost met the Wu, but at least he tried. Most importantly, he is the one who got everyone to start saying "Stan the Vanguard" instead of "Stan my Vanguard" or "Stan Vanguard" or whatever they used to say, which made the show better. Also, his card fights with others were interesting and fun to watch. Moving on. This is my favorite MC in the show. Chrono was a legend crusher. He beat Koji, Kamui, Daigo, Jamie, Leon, and even Morikawa surprisingly. He became a card game Harriet Tubman and freed the United Sanctuary from Masa Kanzaki. He saved the world twice, once from the Infinite Tsukuyomi and the next year from card game Satan. All in 2 years. And then as a child, he was special. Not like that, but like really special. He opened a portal to Cray, made cards come to life, and used Chrono Jet to knock out Kanzaki. Moving on. The king of card fights, the aloof fighter, Kai is actively the best card fighter in the show, and he is dominant with 2 clans. Unlike everybody else, who as soon as they got their Royal Paladin and Shadow Paladins back, they either abandoned their original or hopped on to the next one. But not Kai. He would use both Kagero and Narukami in every season since the Asia circuit. Also, he was good with using Royal Paladin too, and even beat Aichi, who was using Observation Hockey, and still beat him down with minimal effort. Fun fact, he is the only person in the show to use the Overlord and is known as the Overlord by real people in the real world. Actually, in their world, not in the... I call him the Overlord because, you know what I'm saying, respect to the GOAT, but moving on. Other reasons, he finished a card fight in an avalanche, defeated Link Joker for real, and traumatized Shion, which was hilarious. Then he is canonically acknowledged as the best by other people on this list, and he is also a EuroLeague champion, so that makes him at least top 10 in the verse. Well, that's it. If you have a problem with the list, put it in the comments. Peace.